Have you ever pondered why Iran and Israel, two nations with no shared borders, have such an intense and complex relationship? The puzzle is as fascinating as it is intricate. These two nations, nestled in the heart of the Middle East, carry a history that's as layered and complex as the region itself. Yet, their story isn't just of regional significance. The intricate dance between Iran and Israel has consequences that ripple across the globe, influencing the course of world events. But to grasp the depth of this enigma, we need to delve into the annals of history. Once upon a time, the relationship between Iran and Israel wasn't fraught with tension. Quite the contrary, in fact. Before the year 1979, the two nations enjoyed a more cordial bond, a time when diplomatic relations weren't just a far-fetched dream, but a thriving reality. A time when the nations were not adversaries, but allies. However, this era of relative peace was not destined to last. The winds of change were brewing, and they would soon sweep across the Middle East, altering the diplomatic landscape beyond recognition. The year 1979 marked a turning point, a seismic shift that would set the stage for the complex relationship we see today. Yet, the question remains, what happened? What caused such a drastic transformation in the relationship between these two nations? The answer, as you might expect, is not straightforward. It involves a tapestry of political, religious, and social factors, each woven together to create the intricate pattern that is the Iran-Israel relationship. But to unravel this web, we can't merely skim the surface. We need to plunge into the depths, to explore the various threads that make up this complex narrative. We need to traverse the labyrinth of history, to walk the path that Iran and Israel have trodden over the decades. To understand this conundrum, we need to go back in time and trace the roots of this fraught relationship. A journey that will lead us not only through the annals of history, but also into the heart of one of the world's most intriguing enigmas. Believe it or not, there was a time when Iran and Israel were not at odds. A time when diplomatic relations flourished, common interests were pursued, and shared enemies were kept at bay. This was the golden era from 1947 to 1979. A period that saw the rise of the Pahlavi dynasty and the Shah's Western-oriented policies. During these 3 decades, Iran and Israel enjoyed a period of cooperation and mutual respect. The Pahlavi dynasty, under the Shah's rule, was instrumental in fostering this relationship. The Shah, with his Western-oriented policies, saw Israel not as a rival, but as an ally. He believed that a strong relationship with Israel would help Iran modernize and grow. And so Iran became the second Muslim-majority country following Turkey to recognize Israel as a state in 1947. This recognition was a significant turning point in the history of these two nations, one that marked the beginning of a period of mutual cooperation and understanding. Together, Iran and Israel worked towards common goals. The year 1979 marked a significant turning point for Iran and Israel. Picture this: a nation, previously a monarchy under Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, is suddenly plunged into a whirlpool of change. The Iranian Revolution, a series of events involving the overthrow of the Pahlavi dynasty, was in full swing. The revolution saw the rise of the Islamic Republic under the leadership of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, a seismic shift that would forever alter the dynamics of the Middle East. This wasn't just a change in leadership, it was a fundamental transformation of the country's political fabric, a shift from secularism to an Islamic state. The ideological revolution that swept through Iran had far-reaching implications, not just domestically, but internationally as well. And Israel, a nation that had enjoyed a somewhat cordial relationship with Iran under the Shah, found itself in the crosshairs. The Shah's Iran was a strategic ally for Israel, a non-Arab, oil-rich nation that shared Israel's apprehension of the rise of Arab nationalism. The two countries had cooperated in various sectors, from oil to security, but with the rise of the Islamic Republic, the tide turned dramatically. The new regime in Iran viewed Israel as an illegitimate state, a usurper of Muslim lands. Israel was branded as the Little Satan, a puppet of the Great Satan, the United States. The ideological shift in Iran led to a hardening of its stance towards Israel, transforming the relationship from one of cooperation to confrontation. The Iranian Revolution of 1979 didn't just change Iran. It changed the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. It marked the end of an era of relative peace between Iran and Israel and the beginning of a period of hostility that has lasted for decades. The revolution, the rise of the Islamic Republic, and the subsequent shift in Iran's stance towards Israel was undoubtedly a turning point. It changed the rules of the game, set new players on the board, and reshaped the contours of the Middle East as we know it today. This transformation set the stage for decades of tension and conflict. From allies to adversaries, the relationship between Iran and Israel entered a new phase post-1979. The winds of change swept across the Middle East, carrying with them a whirlwind of tension and conflict. The once friendly nations found themselves embroiled in a bitter rivalry, fueled by differing ideologies, strategic interests, and regional ambitions. This period saw the rise of escalating tensions between the two nations. The seeds of discord sown during the Iranian Revolution began to bear fruit in the form of proxy wars. The Middle East became a chessboard, with Iran and Israel using other nations and non-state actors as pawns in their power play. From the rugged terrains of Lebanon to the war-torn streets of Syria, the shadows of Iran and Israel loomed large. The echoes of their rivalry resonated far beyond their borders, shaping the course of events in the region. But the conflict wasn't just confined to the battlefield. The specter of nuclear threats became an omnipresent reality. Iran's nuclear program, shrouded in secrecy and ambiguity, was a cause of major concern for Israel. The fear of a nuclear-armed Iran pushed Israel to take drastic measures, leading to a series of clandestine operations and cyber attacks aimed at crippling Iran's nuclear ambitions. In the midst of this intense conflict, diplomatic maneuvering became a key tool for survival. Both nations sought to strengthen their positions by forging alliances and influencing international policies. The dance of diplomacy saw moments of intense confrontation and elusive cooperation, reflecting the complex nature of the Iran-Israel relationship. This era of conflict, marked by a volatile mix of war, threats, and diplomacy, has drastically altered the dynamics between Iran and Israel. It has reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East, leading to a state of perpetual instability and uncertainty. In this new era, the once cordial relationship has been replaced by a complex web of rivalry and confrontation. This is the reality of the Iran-Israel relationship in the modern era, a testament to the transformative power of politics and the enduring nature of conflict. As we stand in 2024, the Iran-Israel saga continues, with no clear end in sight. The last decade has seen an escalation in tensions, with the Iran-Israel relationship becoming more strained. The two nations, once allies, now sit on opposite sides of an ideological divide that has only deepened with time. Recent developments have seen a rise in rhetoric, with each side firmly asserting its strategic and national interests. The international community watches with bated breath as the saga unfolds. The complexity of the situation is only compounded by the interplay of regional and global politics. Iran's pursuit of nuclear technology remains a significant point of contention, while Israel's security concerns continue to be a driving force in its foreign policy. Despite the challenges, there are glimmers of hope. Diplomatic efforts are ongoing and the world hopes for a peaceful resolution. Yet the path towards peace is fraught with obstacles. It requires not just political will, but also a willingness to challenge deeply ingrained ideologies and to confront long-standing fears. Looking ahead, the future of the Iran-Israel relationship remains uncertain. In the chessboard of international politics, the moves made by Iran and Israel will depend on a multitude of factors. These include their respective domestic politics, their relations with other regional and global powers, and the evolving geopolitical landscape. The potential scenarios are numerous, ranging from a continuation of the status quo to a radical shift in the relationship. The latter could come in the form of a diplomatic breakthrough, or conversely, an escalation of the conflict. Either way, the stakes are high and the implications far-reaching. In conclusion, the Iran-Israel saga is a testament to the complex nature of international relations. It is a story of shifting alliances, ideological battles, and strategic gamesmanship. It serves as a reminder that in the world of politics, nothing is ever static. In the grand scheme of world politics, the Iran-Israel relationship remains a captivating tale of shifting alliances, ideological battles, and strategic gamesmanship.